Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm going to make another 2 loaves of sourdough. I already got the sourdough starter in here with some water. So I'm just mixing it up. I'm going to add the salt and the honey next. I think 1 loaf, because I already have an order for a cheese and herb. So that's going to be 1 loaf. And the other loaf is going to be an onion and herb loaf. I don't know whether to add cheese to it or not. I'm still thinking on that one. I know, dangerous, right? That's funny. Anyway, I'm gonna add some honey here. Oops, I don't want my spurtle going in here. It's not a spurtle. And remember, I don't measure. Do you remember that? I just put in until I feel my heart tells me to stop. Okay, that's good. Okay, got some salt. You know how I measure. Just in the palm of my hand. 2 loaves. There's the salt. Okay, we're just mixing up so it's well mixed into that milky substance. I do want to put a plug in. I did end up making last weekend this blueberry. Doesn't it look good? As you can tell, half a loaf is already gone. That's how much we like it. This is, I was gonna do 2 different kinds, one with frozen blueberries and one with dehydrated. This is the frozen, and you can see the mess it made, but they sure do love it. All right, we're gonna start with the flour. Now remember, I put 3 cups of flour for each loaf. There's 1, 2, and 3. There's 1 loaf. As you can tell, this can really diminish your flour supply pretty darn fast. Good thing I bought a lot. All right, now that I've got 5 cups in there. Now you remember this last cup, I just kind of wait until I see what the consistency is. So we're mixing, and I probably will add anywhere from half a cup to the whole cup yet, but I just want to get it all mixed up first. Yeah, it's pretty watery down at this end. Remember, I don't add the inclusions until I'm ready with my slap and folds. I'm gonna do it for my inclusions, that's when I'm gonna half this, and I'll put the herb flavoring in before I do the slap and folds. Yeah, you can tell it is the shaggy dough I want, but it's still too wet. So I'm going to add a half a cup, and then I'll get this mixed in before I add in the other half. Because sometimes I don't always need that other half, depending on how much water I have. This is the arm workout. So if you want to skip going to the gym, come and just do some bread. You get your arm workout pretty good that day. All right, this is probably where I'm gonna start using my hands. They are clean. I washed them before I started. There you go. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. It took a little brief pause. I have my grandkids here. So if you hear some kids in the background, it's because they're here. I'm just mixing up dough. Yeah, sorry about that. It's okay. Little baby. She's precious. We're almost done anyway, because I gotta let this dough rest in just a little bit. Oh, I'm gonna start hurrying because she's gonna need my attention. All right, everyone. I'm gonna put this aside for now. I got a grandkid who needs my help. We'll come back later. Okay, everybody, this is the second part of making an urban cheese. So I'm gonna half the dough. Oh, it's still a little bit sticky. There we go. It's so warm today in Wisconsin. It's like 76 degrees. So I didn't want to wait for this dough to proof too much more because I feel like it would overproof really fast. And it's really warm in the house today. So this is when I'm going to add my flavoring. I'm going to kind of put it all over. And I'm just going to kind of flip this dough around a little bit. I'm going to get my hands wet. I shouldn't have to with proof of dough. Okay, so I got the seasoning in there. I got my hands wet a little bit. Now I'm just going to kind of like flip it over a little bit, add more seasoning. I would rather have seasoning everywhere in the dough than have pockets of dough without any seasoning. All right, now I'm gonna let that rest. I'll probably let it rest for a couple of hours. We're gonna help our daughter with some kiddos. So when I come back, I'll shape it and put some cheese in there. Okay, we're gonna make this loaf into an onion and cheese. We're just gonna, you can see how sticky this dough is. This is not how I want my dough. Just a clue in, we want it so it's not sticky. So I am gonna let it proof a little bit more, but I wanna add some of these seasonings. So this is just an Italian zest. All right, and this is just dried onion. I don't put fresh onion in because the moisture of the onion will actually make your dough mushy. So I've used dried onion, and I'm gonna flip this over and put some more. This is just not how I want my dough. I'm so sorry, everybody. But this is just to show you that if I don't let it proof long enough, it's too sticky and it's not ready. So I'm just gonna put some more onion in. And I'm gonna come back in a few hours. I'm just gonna cover them up so they don't get any bugs or anything on them. And I'll come back and shape them up in a little while. I'll see you later. Good morning, everyone. Look at that dough. She blew up in the fridge last night. So we're gonna cook or bake them today. Yeah, this is the sticky dough that I was working on last night and had to go because we were helping our daughter. Sorry about that. I ended up finishing putting flavoring in them, putting cheese in it, and then putting it in the fridge. But wow, look at that. So I'm going to use 2 pieces of parchment paper to get this one out. And I'm going to put it in my Dutch oven because it is so big, as you can see. We're going to turn her over. Give me a second here. I'm so sorry. I don't have somebody else videotaping for me today, so it's just me. Doing this one-handed somehow. Oh, she is beautiful. I'm gonna pick it up and put it in the Dutch oven. The bottom of the pan so that it doesn't burn. And you can see she's just gonna open up already. So that's a nice deep score. It's pretty dough. And I'm just gonna cover it, set her aside. Here's the second dough. I'm trying to show you that you don't need the expensive materials to be able to do this bread. You can use what you have around home. The Dutch oven, oh, that means my oven's hot. And here's a cast iron loaf pan. She's pretty heavy, but she's very durable. So there's the 2 loaves. They're gonna go in the oven, and we'll be back in about an hour, and I'll show you the final product. Thank you. Okay, everybody. That's the final product. See, sourdough isn't difficult, even though I did mess up with the underproofment yesterday. I shaped it, or I didn't really shape it, I added some inclusions. That is the onion and herb cheese, and this is just the herb and cheese. But look at how beautiful they turned out. Even though it was underproofed, I left it. I added some inclusions. I left it sit for a little bit longer. Then I shaped them and I put them in the fridge for overnight. And then we baked them up this morning. I can tell you, they smell amazing. So sourdough does not have to be difficult. It is, it's very forgiving. And look at how beautiful that turned out. Thanks. You guys have a great day.